Hey you little cuties, Bemi here, and welcome back to another speed build video. This is the long-awaited castle build. Well, I don't know if it's really long-awaited, but you get what I'm trying to say. Anyway, so I'm attempting to build some sort of medieval-esque castle. And I wanted it to be relatively functional for any events that may happen. I wanted to make sure that there was a throne room. I don't know actually how functional that is, to be honest. You'll see in a little bit, but I used a prop from Get Famous of the like medieval throne where there's like steps up to it, and then there's like a big chair, and it looks nice anyway. I don't know if I'll like super duper need it or anything, but every good castle needs a throne room. And then I also have a big dining room that has a dancing floor in the middle of it, which I thought was kind of cool. Excuse me. God, every time I record audio for a build, I burp. And I don't know what that is. It's so bizarre. Like, I was streaming, not burping. I record a coffee date vlog, no burping. I record any other voiceover except The Sims, and it's like I don't burp. I don't know what it is about The Sims voiceovers that I do for these builds that makes me burp. It is just so bizarre. Anyway, so I wanted to keep this relatively simplistic. Like, I didn't want too many crazy fancy fluffy things flying around, just because okay, so I'm not like a historian and I'm not an expert, but from what I understand of like medieval times, everything was relatively simplistic. So I wanted to keep the build of the castle very square shaped. I didn't want any like weird winding hallways or like big giant like Snow White not Snow White, is that what I'm thinking? Nah, I'm thinking like a Cinderella castle. But I didn't want it to be like too fancy. I wanted it to be relatively simple and kind of utilitarian in a way, I guess. And again, I am in no way, shape, or form any sort of historian. I just kind of Googled some images and then picked what I liked. And I did make a lot of the common areas. Actually, a lot of the areas are just, they're big. And there isn't necessarily like a lot of stuff in them. But I figured, I mean, it's a castle. They're usually big. And I thought it would give a lot of extra room for gameplay. And as you'll see here, all of a sudden, magically, half of this castle was built. How did that happen? Well, I'll tell you how that happened. I forgot to press record after pausing to go, I don't know, do something. And I just forgot to press record again. And so I just like totally missed out on like 3 hours of like recording. And that's that. But there will be like screenshots at the end, so don't worry. And a lot of this, I was kind of trying to decide what I needed and like what I was gonna do. So I knew that I needed a throne room. I know that I needed like a dining hall with like a kitchen. I knew that I probably needed like servants' quarters. I knew that I needed like some sort of a place of worship that was a place of worship, obviously, but then also somewhere that my Sims could get married, because if a royal Sim gets married, they don't just go to the local church. They have like a church that's like built into the castle where they have their personal worship, and like that's where they get married and have their coronations and like whatever. And so I wanted to make sure that was in there. I also wanted to have a skill building room. So it's kind of like the library excuse me, and just like any skills like a noble person might have. So I did like painting, the flower arranging, music, and the chess table. And I don't know if I put anything else in here, but I wanted to make it as sort of like a hangout spot, I guess, for like the Sims to go and like have, I don't know, noble and royal kind of hobbies. So that's kind of like what this room is. And then I have another room that's like the war room, and I put like a bunch of maps on the wall, which is this room here, and there's like swords everywhere, and it's kind of like the meeting room. And then I put like these punching bags in here to sort of maybe simulate how they would be like fighting people, I guess. And because I wanted to get fitness equipment in this build, but obviously since this is not The Sims Medieval, there isn't a whole lot to really work with. So I will have to ask that everybody use their imagination for a lot of parts, especially when we get into the Let's Play of this. There will be a lot of Sims that'll be like walking around in modern clothes, and unfortunately we're all just gonna have to suck it up. As much as I would like them to come out with a medieval themed pack, I just don't think that's happening in my lifetime. But as far as the war room goes, I don't know how much actual functionality it's going to have, just because it's just kind of like a room with chairs and a table and fitness equipment. So we'll see. I haven't play tested the Let's Play that I'm planning on doing. I haven't play tested it all the way through anyway, so I don't really know what I will and won't need, and I don't really know how things are going to pan out. So if we need to change things as we go, we can do that. And then up here on the top level, I made like a, I don't even know what you would call it. I kind of imagine this person to be like an alchemist or an astrologist. Astronomist. That's what I'm looking for. And maybe he's also an astrologist. I don't know. But some sort of like a man of science up here. And so I put a lot of the vampire pack stuff in here because it had a lot of like, I don't know, it seemed like kind of like this rustic, spooky vibe kind of a deal. I don't really know how to explain it. So I put a lot of knowledge kind of based things in there, maybe some like experimenty kind of things in there. And then of course we have the bedrooms, and I made excuse me, I made a royal family, and I wanted the rooms to be sort of like distinguishable. That's why they're all different colors and kind of like coordinated, I guess, because I just imagined that's what a royal bedroom would look like. But I made the royal family already, and so they each needed to have like their own spaces, I guess, like their own rooms and stuff. So that's kind of just like what's going on with those. And there's like not really any significance to the color coordination other than I just wanted to be able to tell them apart. I don't know if I will be, but you get it. So you'll see here that I am putting like the skeleton in there, and then I put in like that little raven skull, and then kind of all of these little knickknacks that look very science-y or maybe like occulty kind of. Excuse me. And so I don't know how to like say it without giving too much away, because I'm very proud of this Let's Play that I developed. I don't know if, again, I don't know if this is something that's already been created. I hope it hasn't, but it's gonna be cool. And of course, because it's The Sims, you need a good place to woohoo. So most of my builds have a place for The Sims to woohoo, because that will be integral to the gameplay. Also, I wanted to have options for death as well, because, well, I can't tell you why, but I can say that death is also very integral to the gameplay. So that's kind of like where we're at. So I wanted to make sure that he had like all of these like different like plants and potions and like old relics, and he even has a cow plant in here. You'll see that eventually, but so that's kind of like what he's doing. He's like got like every fish on display that's like in the game, I think, like on the wall. I imagine like he's, I don't know, like doing experiments on the fish, or like those are all of the fish that he's like classified that like live in the realm or whatever. And I wanted to make it kind of like a very, like maybe he's traveled the world and like collected these items or something. And I just wanted to make it like a little bit dark and a little bit spooky, because I just imagine that whoever is their scientist, I don't want to say scientists, because like in medieval times, like scientists didn't really exist how they do now. You know what I'm saying? So mostly this is just, I don't know, we'll see how this goes. I have like some ideas for the gameplay, and so that's why a lot of the things that I have like built medieval wise like are there. For example, it's not exactly kid friendly, but I built a brothel, which is something that existed and might also be integral for the gameplay. You never know. So also, something else I wanted to do was make like a small garden. I know that there's like farmers, and I imagine that they're like kind of supplying the like produce and like farmed goods for the most of the population, but I would imagine that the castle would sort of have like their own little garden, maybe. I don't know. But I moved in the royal family, and I think I have already hired them a maid to come in. I've hired them like a gardener to come in, and I think I hired them a butler, and then they also have like an extra sim that's like a servant girl, I guess. So that's kind of like what's going on like in the front part here. I wanted this to be like the work area. Like that well isn't functional, but it looks nice, you know? So we have like a little garden, like small farm for the castle, and then we have the well, like where they get water, and then I also have the clotheslines with the like wash bucket or whatever, so that everyone's clothes can get washed. I don't remember if I added in any hampers, but that's always something that could be added in later. And I just wanted to kind of give some parts of this like a little bit of like, oh, well, maybe there's like a nice little sit down area. I kind of wanted this to be like, I don't know, like the front receiving end of the castle, where like when people walk in, like all of the servants are kind of like who they meet first, you know, like so that the high profile royal people aren't just like out there on the front lines, I guess, because unfortunately royal people mattered more than normal people. But that's kind of like my idea, and that was like some of the pictures that I saw, and I imagine like maybe that was kind of some of the reasoning behind it. So I wanted to kind of make that like a receiving big like courtyard area where like when guests or like whoever are there, that's like where they go first instead of like straight into the castle. And then in the back, I'm sure you guys have probably already like caught a couple of glimpses of it. I think I go back to the back courtyard and like work on that a little bit more, but I wanted to make a little bit more like romantic and like conversational areas as well, where the Sims could like go and like hang out. I just wanted like some good scenery, because I imagine like Sims will be getting married, and and being like proposed to and stuff. So like I wanted to give the Sims some like nice areas to like do that kind of thing in, you know. I also added in this pond from Get Famous, and this goes back into my earlier point of I needed ways that Sims could die. So you can actually fill that pond with sharks, and like a Sim can fall in it and die. At least I think. I'm pretty sure. I thought that's what I heard. I haven't played with it yet, but I thought that would be such a cool element. I want to tell everybody, I just want to tell all of you, like, all about my ideas that I have for this Let's Play, but I don't want to give it away until, like, we get there. Excuse me. I guess I could kind of tell you, like, when that's happening, at least. So, that will kind of be happening, I think, the week after this comes out. So I'm gonna start that Let's Play. It'll be a week from now anyway, and then we'll start that, and I want to continue also doing builds as well, because that's something that like I'm very like passionate about. I'm kind of like a maker. I like crafty, buildy things on The Sims and in my real life, so that's something that like I don't want to stop doing. I just wanted you guys to know that like I don't know if they'll be as frequent. At the moment I've been trying to stream a build that I've been working on, and since I'm streaming it, it takes a little bit longer. I haven't finished it, and I actually haven't gotten to like build on it at all like this week yet, so that's kind of a bummer, but hopefully I'll get back into that. My hours are changing at work, so that's going unfortunately I'm gonna have to kind of work around that a little bit more, but once I get into a routine, we'll be good to go. I'll probably like pre-record a lot of videos like on my days off and things like that, so that's kind of my plan. I'd also like to see what's going on with the new Strangerville pack, and then maybe do something with that. I haven't really decided. I know like everybody and their mother, as far as like The Sims goes, is like playing it. So I was thinking about like, I guess, spoiling the, I don't know, investigation or whatever for myself, and like seeing what that's about, and seeing if there's a way I could play it but maybe do it a little differently, like maybe like up the stakes or something, you know. So I don't know, we'll see. So yeah, anyway, I'm just gonna be like, after this build comes out, I'm going to try to continue streaming. If anyone's interested, I stream on Twitch. It's just twitch.tv/demibobemi, and right now I'm currently building a New York inspired apartment building. So that's kind of a fun little thing. We pretty much finished the bottom level, and then there's like a second level. Oh, and there's a basement, and the basement was like super quick and easy because like, I don't know, what do you even put in the basement? But we finished like the first two levels, and now we're gonna work on like the second level, which I think I'm gonna have a couple, I don't know, I'm gonna change up my formula for that a little bit, I think. But if you're not into like watching live streams or whatever, I plan on, or if you like don't have Twitch and you're like super against Twitch, that's cool, I get it. I'm planning on, once I like finish the build, I'll probably re-upload the build, but do like a speed build version of it. I might even just like re-upload the live streams as well, and I guess I could start doing that now since I've already done a couple, just so anyone who's missed out can also join, because I know in this day and age there's just like so many different social medias that like sometimes it's like hard to keep up with someone. I I know it's like I'll be watching someone and they're like, oh, I'm on Instagram and I'm on Twitter and I'm on Facebook and I'm on Twitch and I'm over here and I'm over here and I'm on this Amino app and I'm like doing this, and you're just like, okay, I need you to consolidate your content. So I know it can be overwhelming, so I'm planning on kind of like trying to consolidate a lot of stuff like onto YouTube. So if you missed a stream, eventually it'll be up on YouTube. Or if you're not into live streams, eventually like the speed build will be up. I don't really know as far as Twitch goes, like if I'm going to just do The Sims, or if I'm also going to implement like other games, or if I'm going to implement like my fashion and like sewing and like art stuff as well. I mean, I don't see any like real problem with it. I just don't want to get too over my head, you know. Like I'm definitely one of those people that like I will bite off more than I can chew, and I have a lot of like good ideas and like stuff that I want to do, but sometimes my follow through isn't quite there because I'm like, ooh, I can do this and I can do that and I can do like this 5 million billion things that isn't reasonable. So we'll see. Maybe I'll just be doing my building on Twitch and then like re-uploading the speed build on YouTube. I don't know. We'll see, but the streams are super fun. It's so nice to like chat live with people. Like even though like the building process goes a lot slower, only because like I'm not so good at like talking and like also doing something. Like my multitasking level is like so far below non-existent that it's like unbelievable. My husband is always like giving me shit because he's like, you know, you don't have to like stop what you're doing to talk to me. But, and I don't know if it's like just from like being a kid and it's like, okay, give someone like your full attention like when you're talking to them or when they're talking to you, that like maybe that's what's bled over, and so like I just never learned how to like talk and do stuff at the same time. I don't know, but that's just kind of where we're at. It goes slow, but it's fun. I had Neon Squirtle hanging out for a while. That was really cool. So yeah, I don't know. It's just like really fun, like to just talk in like real time with people and just like hang out. So it's cool. If you're interested, you should show up. Oh, also I want to explain the observatory. So I'm imagining a sort of like, oh my god, who am I thinking of? I can't stop thinking about Nostradamus, but I highly doubt he was an astrologer. Astronomer? Oh my god, why do I keep saying astrologer? Jesus. Okay, astronomer. I don't really know a lot of like medieval type academics, if there even were any, but I just kind of like wanted to throw in the idea of like, well, maybe they do have like a telescope and they're looking at the stars or like whatever. Also, it's a woohoo spot, just saying. And then I also in the corner put one of those like woohoo bushes in where they can also like go pee and stuff. So oh my god, you know what I just realized? I meant to put in those like knight statues that are like the armor like knight statues like all over the castle, and I just didn't even. I think I put them in the throne room and just like forgot about it. You know what I'm saying? A bada bing, a bada boom. I apologize for my very bad impression of Italian people. It's just a really bad accent and I'm sorry. But wow, oh gosh, I'm so upset. Anyway, so my idea was that there was like, oh, like a bush back there that like the people like guarding the castle could like go pee in. But then also if maybe like one of the royals at the castle has like a little sneaky guest and they want to have a little sneaky woohoo or something. So like that's kind of like, okay, so I can tell you this Let's Play, I'm planning on it being drama, and I need it to be drama because that's just what it is. And it's like every like historical fiction I've ever watched is just so dramatic, and I understand like in these times things were very dramatic, but so that's kind of like my plan anyway. And then so I just needed lots of places to die, lots of ways for the Sims to die, and lots of woohoo places. Oh, something interesting. I don't remember if I did a speed build for the marketplace, but it's definitely up on the gallery. If you notice, there's lots of like fireworks there, and it's set up as a retail lot. So my idea is that people could potentially like buy fireworks there to light them like in a house, so the house catches on fire. That's just like one idea I have. So like, just to explain, I wanted every location for the most part to have something that will help continue the gameplay, and it's going to be mainly focused on killing Sims, marrying Sims, and like woohooing Sims. So I wanted to make sure that like there was a lot of like kind of photogenic places, excuse me, for like the Sims to like propose to one another, or places for them to like sneak off and have like a secret woohoo, or somewhere to like, I don't know, catch their house on fire by like setting fireworks off in their house. But then also like people don't just happen to have like fireworks in their pockets, you know? So they also needed a place to like procure the fireworks. So that's kind of where I'm going. And I feel like I can say a little more than I have in the past, just because like we're so close to starting this LP. I haven't recorded it yet, but if time allows, I might try to start recording tonight. I don't know, we'll see. Either way, I'll at least have an episode up a week from now. And then depending on how often I can record, I think it'll just be a weekly episode, sort of like, you know, regular TV shows, you know what I'm saying? So you can expect that, and then that's pretty much where we're at for that. I did, what is even up here? Oh, I think just bathrooms. So I wanted to have like kind of like a shitty bathroom, or like a toilet room and like a bathroom for like the servants and stuff. Like I imagine that they aren't allowed to use the room, because so every bedroom has a toilet, and then like they all communally are going to share like one like bathroom, because like think about it, in the medieval times were people really bathing a lot? No. Oh, and then you'll see down here we have a dungeons, and then we also have like a storage room, and then we have like a crypt. I don't think the Sims can access it, but Sims can also woohoo in coffins. So that's a thing. But I thought it'd be kind of like an interesting idea to have like a family crypt down there, and then oh, you know what? Am I hallucinating, or did I add in 2 separate like servants' quarters? I don't know. Either way, if you want to play in this build, you can always change stuff up. I think we're really close to the screenshots, so I hope you guys enjoyed this build and enjoyed my rambling. If you have any questions about anything that I talked about in this video or any video ever, please feel free to hit me up in the comment section below. I try to make a point to respond to every single comment that I get, so please leave a comment if you have anything to say, or you can hit me up on Instagram or Twitter. And with that, I just want to say thank you guys so much for hanging out and being so patient with this whole medieval series that I've been doing, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!